is going on, everybody? You already know it is Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. It's out of the box here. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. So you already know it is time. It is college football frenzy. My name is Paul Spencer. On this side right over here, I got Big Mike. What's going on, Mike?
What's up?
Mike, who you got below you down there?
That would be the one and only Joe Sullivan.
What's up, man? Yo, the John be representing the Bears.
And Joe, who's on your side over there? Who's that guy?
I got my man Sean Kilrain. Me and my boy Killer go way back.
Way back.
Back when Dick
What's up,
was
fellas?
coach. We go back when Dick got his heart attack, yo. We go way back.
Damn.
Yes.
All I can say is we some old ass motherfuckers, aren't we?
Yo,
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I'm the oldest, but hell, I won't go there. But yeah, I mean, shit. That's as you guys can tell. I made a bet with a buddy of mine. I told him that if the Cowboys don't make it to the NFC Championship, I'll keep growing my beard. So it's probably going to be a Fu Manchu down here next year. But who knows?
So in other words, you're going to be like ZZ Top.
Yeah, I'm going to be the newest Asian member of ZZ Top pretty soon.
Oh,
You'll see walking Wodo's legs. Hey. But hey, listen, we're here to talk about some college football. Hey, what better way to flip the script and how about we move to the NFL, because the combine's done, which we all seen, and of course we've seen these players. Now it's time to move them over to the NFL, our league. So guys, tonight we are going to flip it over and we are going to go NFL. And here we are. We are bringing you the NFC North. Every one of us has a certain team that we're going to talk about tonight. They're not our teams, but here at Out of the Box, it ain't just the Eagles. It ain't just the Cowboys. It ain't just the Giants. We're a fan of the game, so we're going to bring you all four teams of the NFC North. So, Mike, since you're up top up there, you got that big blue lion up there. What's going on with those Detroit Lions?
Oh, man. You know what? Detroit made some they made some pretty good acquisitions in the offseason here. So I'm actually, I'm just going to go over their schedule a little bit. Of course, they play in this division. So, of course, they're going to have the Packers twice, the Bears twice, Minnesota. Some of their in-conference games, not really nothing to write home about. If you take a look, they are home against Atlanta, home against Carolina. They are on the road. They play the NFC South. So they have Atlanta and Carolina at home. They're on the road, New Orleans and Tampa. So that we can look down the line a little further there. Believe it or not, they also, now their AFC schedule to me, they play the AFC West this year. They are at LA, the Chargers, and I believe they are at Kansas City. Am I seeing this right? Hold on. Yeah, at Kansas City, at LA. So they have Denver at home. They have the Raiders at home. They both got to come into Ford Field. They also are at the Baltimore Ravens, which is their extra game this year. So they're at Baltimore. And, Paul, they're at your Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I know. I was actually thinking about that. I mean, I like the Lions.
I'm sorry. The last one, they have Seattle at home. So that's pretty much their 17-game schedule. Of course, the schedules haven't come out yet, but that's their opponents for this year. Mm-hmm. And looking at the Lions' opponents, I figured if you're looking at it, if we're going off of what, the guys that they brought in, the way they were able to get the defense back up, they did go pretty defense heavy in free agency. Of course, they did take C.J. Gardner-Johnson from us. They also signed Marvin Jones back today, which I thought was a really, really good signing. You can pair him up with Ahmad St. Brown. And, my question is, though, how much are they going to miss Jamal Williams? Now, with that being said, Jamal Williams leaves, goes to the New Orleans Saints. Can understand. The guy was going to get a payday. But they do the next best thing. They go in division, and they take David Montgomery from Joe's Chicago Bears. And now you got a backfield with them two guys, okay? And, to be honest with you, I think, I really think, they've been going heavy with the defense on as far as, going going in free agency. I think the draft, like I would look out, like, I got a feeling that they might go after the kid from Notre Dame, the baby Gronk, to put him at tight end.
Yeah, but you got
Michael
Hawkinson.
Mayer.
How do you feel about that? Well, you got Hawkinson too. I mean, I'm no, sorry. Yeah.
No, Hawkinson was
Hawkinson's
sorry,
at
I'm sorry.
the Vikings.
Minnesota.
Sorry, he's in Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying. So you can draft,
Baby
draft
Gronk.
him. You can draft him to go along with that offense. Now that makes that offense potent. You got two running backs. You got him on, playing tight end. You got Ahmad St. Brown, and now you got Marvin Lewis coming back, or Marvin Jones. I mean, you got them coming back.
And Jameis
Williams as well.
Yeah.
So now, look, that Detroit offense is going to be very, very good.
Wow.
So, I mean, to me, I think that's where they got to go in the draft. If, like I said, but looking at the schedule, I think they could probably. I mean, they have a couple first-round picks. So, I mean,
what about Jalen Carter if he's there? I mean, think about it. You put Jalen Carter in the middle when they got Hutchinson already. Then they went out and they signed Sutton to play corner, who was one of the highest rated corners, and they got CJ Gardner-Johnson. And dude, the schedule you had, Mike, honestly, like I'm praying they lose to like the Chiefs and the Chargers because I don't see a ton of losses on that Detroit schedule. They may be in the run for home advantage.
Yeah, it's going to come down to like what their back-to-backs are, like who they're playing back-to-back versus the schedule. When we see it, we can adjust the schedule then.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's going to come down to that too as well.
Yeah,
but it's an easy schedule, is what we've seen, what we heard. Yeah,
it really is. Like for them coming in second in the division, like they pretty much this is a second place schedule, and I'll tell you what, like I think there's going to be some surprise teams though. I know a lot of people are already jumping up and down on the Saints, because of Derek Carr being down there, but I'm not sleeping on the Carolina Panthers, and I'm not sleeping on the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to be a really good team. I think they're going to shock a lot of people this year. I actually took the Falcons to win the division.
You did.
Yeah, and they just signed Calais Campbell just a little while ago. So, with that being said, that Kansas City game is going to be tough, but I think Kansas City will be tough. I think at New Orleans will be tough because New Orleans is a tough place to play. It really is. But going back and looking at some of these people that and Chicago is going to be a tough place to play. I could see the Bears and the Lions splitting their teams. I'm not sold on Minnesota. I think Minnesota had too much turnover in this offseason. They got a new defensive coordinator coming in, so now these guys got to learn his system. I think they're taking a step back. We already know Green Bay is going to be pretty much ass. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in last place. I mean, Rodgers is probably still in a cave trying to make his decision.
I actually got him sitting over here in seclusion right now. We'll get him on the air when we talk about
him. Speaking of Rodgers, I saw on popped up on my Twitter, Boomer Esiason. He's pretty plugged in with the Jets. He says he thinks the trade's going to go down relatively soon, like possibly within the next few days.
Okay.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, but he's a former Jet and he works up there, so he's plugged in with them.
Now we got a question out there, Mike. Now answer this one first, since you're doing the Lions here. Do you trust Jared Goff?
Yeah, I do, and look at he only had Ahmad St. Brown as a wide receiver last year. You got to remember they traded T.J. Hawkinson midway through the season to the Vikings. So that was really kind of their only deep threat, man. And he was making guys like DJ Chark look good. I mean, if you give him time to throw the ball, Jared Goff can eat you up, man. And that was shown when he was in LA, when they had Andrew Whitworth protecting him and that pretty stellar offensive line. Goff wasn't a bad quarterback, and I think they might be able to. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they tried looking to get somebody, maybe drafting somebody later on in later rounds, maybe see about coming in and him getting groomed because he is getting a little older. And but I think they definitely can win with him. And the Lions are going to be one of the top teams, I think, in the NFC this year.
I actually got a question for you though, based off of what Ken Fry said. Do you think what if they? All right, we all know the Lions have talent, and odds are they're not going to be picking high in the draft for a while, and they do have 2 first-round picks. They're 6 and 18, correct?
Right.
So based off of that, what if there's a kid they love there at 6? What if they love Anthony Richardson For instance, what if Richardson's sitting there at 6 and the Lions love him? I mean,
then they're going to take him. They're going to take him.
That's what I'm saying. I know Goff had a really good year, but I mean, I could see and boy, I'll tell you, here's a fun one.
Yeah.
Imagine Richardson comes in and he's good. Imagine the rivalry in that division between Richardson and Justin Fields going forward.
And Jordan Love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love. Like I'm not going to poo-poo on Jordan Love just yet. I mean, we haven't seen what he could do. Like if you remember, like when Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre, right? There was this big cloud of question about what this kid, what he could do, right? And all the dude did was come out and essentially just start his MVP career. So I mean, I'm not saying Jordan Love's going to do that, but I mean that Packers team is just so stripped down. I mean they got some good receivers with Dobbs, and they're all second. Dobbs and the other kid, they're going to be second. Watson.
Christian Watson.
They're going to be second-year wide receivers, so they're going to get better. So, I mean, that's all you can hope for is that maybe that this was the right time to move off from him. But, yeah, Joe, I could definitely see your point, them doing that.
You know who's getting buzz too, Mike? I've been reading. The kid from Tennessee is getting a lot of buzz. The kid Hooker. And like so to your point, I guess theoretically they could stay there at 6, go like a Jalen Carter or somebody like that, right? They have 18. They may be able to grab, if they really love that kid Hooker, they may be able to grab him at 18 and go and sit him. And he could, it's kind of a perfect scenario because if they love the kid, first off, he's not going to be ready to play. So they roll this year with Jared Goff. They see what they can do. And meanwhile, they got that kid in the wings who they like, learning the system and possibly the guy in a year or two.
So I like what you just said about that with Mike saying, the 6th pick, if someone said that they like, they'll take him to groom him. I like what you just said too. If Hooker drops down there, he's going to drop that far to say 18. Do they trade away their first pick, the bank pile picks, and just take 18 Hooker? What do you think about that?
They could possibly do that because I believe when they got the trade, they had to trade away also some picks out to the Rams too. Like, so they could probably restockpile their picks. I mean, that would be a perfect pick because there's going to be teams trying to move up to get these quarterbacks. With them sitting at 6 or whatever, like say somebody that's behind us, like the Jets or not the Jets, but like somebody that's behind 10. Like you look at those teams, man. And I read Sean's team, Minnesota. One of the teams that get a lot of buzz for Hooker is Minnesota. Minnesota supposedly, I don't know how true it is, but I've been reading a lot of stuff that the Vikings really like that kid.
What do you think about Ken Fry saying the Raiders might trade back to get Hooker?
And they like Will Levis too as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a guy that's moving up the draft charts fast.
Dude, I've seen it. Chaps my ass because of. Since this is college football frenzy. Again, James Franklin is the reason why Will Levis was not the quarterback at Penn State. Like, do you not think – imagine Will Levis with that team they had this past season.
I know.
Are you kidding me? That dude would have – no, but you got to bring back Van Mo- Go ahead.
Yeah. Go, Sean.
Yeah, I've been reading some stuff.
He's totally set it off on his throw day. Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, I was saying it's funny you guys mentioned Levis because I've been reading a ton of stuff that people like Levis. And then today, one of the draft guys was saying that I guess it depends on who you talk to because there's some teams that are a little scared of his immaturity because he's a little older. He's like 24. And they're saying they're kind of saying he's kind of like a Zach Wilson when he's like entitled. And so it's like, it's funny. Like you look, Will Levis is like one of the most intriguing prospects. No, what's that? What'd you say, Sean?
It's his way or no way.
Yeah. Well, he's
his way or no way.
Yeah, he's one of the most intriguing prospects in the draft because I think you're going to see with him that some teams are going to look at his physical skills and be like, man, we want this kid, and some teams are going to be like, yo, this kid seems like a JO. It's almost like that movie Draft Day. It's Bo Callahan.
Yeah.
Mike,
let me ask you with this pick here, if they do go quarterback if they have it in their selection of quarterback, let's say for some God reason, it's never going to happen. All quarterbacks drop. Who would you want to take number one to fit this Lions system right away? or to sit behind Goff? What would you do? Who would you take with the first pick? If
Richardson.
really,
Yeah, I would.
What if Stroud? What if Stroud?
Richardson.
Really?
Richardson's
Okay.
I think he's got a more. I'm not saying Stroud's going to be a bad quarterback or Bryce Young. I'm not saying they're going to be bad quarterbacks. What I'm saying is, for the pro game, I think Richardson has got a higher ceiling than both of them.
Okay.
And I think he's got a stronger arm. He could do the same stuff they do and elude, So I mean, the whole thing about it is, like I said, I feel like if they were smart, I personally would trade that 6th pick, because you're going to have teams that are going to, that are going to want to move up to get quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Okay, trade that 6th pick, drop back to where you got to get. I want to see Jalen Carter in an Eagles uniform. I know that's probably not going to happen, but if by some reason we don't get it, then we don't. But for me personally, I would love to see them go trade that pick back, and then you have 18, and you go after a hooker. Oh yeah, was it Malik Hooker, right?
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker. You go after him, because I feel like him and Richardson both have a better upside in the pro game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if you can't get one, get the other. So restock your picks, because these guys with these quarterbacks, there's going to be a lot of jockeying going back and forth. Like Indianapolis is like basically trying to give out hand jobs to go get Will Levis. You know what I mean? So,
and like I said, I like where they sit, because there's 2 teams to me that really control it. One is the Eagles. They sit where they sit in the back end of the middle, early in the first, late in the first. They control that as well. But with the Lions sitting at 6 and 18, that 6th spot is so prime for a starting quarterback.
Oh, dude, they can get a haul.
So prime.
They can get a haul for that pick. They can get a haul, and I'm talking about just moving back 2 spots. They'll get a haul. They can go from 6 to 10 or 6 to 9 and move back, and they'll get a haul for that. You know what I mean? So, again, like I said, looking at their schedule, though, man, like I said, I think they split with Chicago, and I think they beat. I think that's their only loss in that division. I think they go 5-1 in that division. I think they beat Minnesota twice. They already proved that they can go to Lambeau and beat the Packers. So you figure, all right, so that's 5-1. Then the next 4 games against the NFC South, I'll say 2-2. Okay. So you figure that's what, 9-3. The 4 games against the AFC West, I think they beat the Raiders. I think they beat the Chargers. I'm not sold on the Chargers at all.
Me either.
I'm not sold on the Chargers. I'll tell you what, and I think Denver, they're just catching Denver at the right time. Brand new team. So I think they beat them, and then they lose to Minnesota. So you figure 9-3, 3 more. That's 12-4 going into, and then their last. Oh, no, yeah, 12, 5-1 in the division.
Do they beat Dallas this year?
I don't know. And the only reason why I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say no is this. The game's in Dallas. Detroit typically on the road. Yeah. But I think they could. I think they beat Baltimore too, because I think Lamar Jackson is not there. So I think they go to Baltimore and win. So I'm looking at them probably, I'm going to say that they are around 12. Was it 12-5? 12-5.
Okay.
I'll give them 12-5 record, and I think them and the Bears finish the top of that division with the same division record.
Oh, okay.
But I think the Bears get the division.
Okay. Last question I have for you, real quick, before we read some of the comments here. How crowded and I know that running back committee is crowded with Swift as well, and what they picked up. How is it going to be a committee running back? What are they going to do, Mike?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be well, that's how the NFL's going these days now. You're going to need 2 backs at least. Like, I can only speak from like my team. We got 4. We got 4 right now, and they're still talking about trying to add a couple more.
We have one. We have one.
Well, yeah, you got a half of one, dude.
Exactly. He's hobbling. He's hobbling right now.
Yeah, you got a half of one right now. But like I said, this is how the NFL's going nowadays. Like the days of the 1,000-yard rusher, they're starting to go down. Look at it. Look at all the 1,000-yard rushers that are going down.
And
You know,
the ones that are getting over like 1,500 yards, they're winding down. That's what happened to Zeke in the beginning. Run
dude,
him,
the
run him,
bell
run him,
cows.
and they're done. You know?
Yeah, the bell cow days are done. Like, you know, a real interesting thing is like, you take a look at it too. Look at some of the decent running backs that are still out there. Dude, Kareem Hunt is still sitting out there.
I know.
That dude's a former 1,000-yard rusher. He went to Cleveland to try to redo his image, been a model citizen, and this dude can't get a job. You know, like, so
it's weird.
Yeah, like it just goes to show you how much the NFL devalued running backs now, and teams are doing that. So I think if you look at the running back tandem, though, Detroit's got a really good running back tandem. They really, truly do. I mean, you got Montgomery and Swift. Both of them have been 1,000-yard backs, and if one goes down, you got another one that can step right in and carry the load.
The funny thing is, Swift doesn't have a lot of mileage on him. He's played hurt, you know, pretty much last season. So he's coming off, you know, a fresh 8-game season last year, really, if you think about it, you know?
Right. And so, like I said,
I got about the kid too, Josh Reynolds from Millersville, local.
Yep.
He's the third back. Yeah, he's got
he's
the one. On.
Yeah, he's got the he comes out with the he's the third down back, right? If I remember right for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got good hands.
So Joe, what do you, since Mike said 12-5 before we get into the Bears, what do you got the Lions at? Since Mike said 12-5, where do you see him for the season?
I wish I could say I disagree with them, but I agree with them. I mean, I think they're looking at their schedule. I only really see about 5 losses. You know, I mean, my only hope as an Eagles fan is that you know, or tonight as a guy that's representing the Bears is that, you know, the Lions have traditionally struggled on the road, so I'm hoping that maybe they piss away a couple games that they really shouldn't. You know what I mean? And maybe that finds a way to get them 6 or 7 losses just from, you know, a couple turnovers, or, you know, another thing, you know, not knowing the order of the schedule plays a part too, because, you know, a dome team on the road, the Lions have always had trouble in cold weather on the road. So that could be a factor too, you know?
Sure. Yep. Sean, what do you got them? I mean, we got 12-5 here. Can't argue that. What do you got?
I'm right there with them, man. It's right there with them because of, like Mike said, with the offense, the defense got to charge with all the acquisitions. So I see no room for error. I mean, I'm right there with both guys. You know,
yeah, I got to make it unanimous. Yeah, I got to be unanimous. I think it's 12-5, but just like what Joe said also, and, you know, the weather plays in a part. You know, Mike, I think you said they're going to Seattle this year, correct?
No, listen, I just looked, right? And like, no, they have Seattle at home. Okay, they go to Dallas, but Dallas doesn't really get cold. The places that get cold that they're going to is Baltimore, Kansas City, Chicago, and Green Bay. They're the 4 places on their schedule that they travel to that it really got to depend on the time of the year. So if they get Kansas City, at Green Bay, at Baltimore, all within the first like 10 weeks, man.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
That makes a big difference because now those games, those division games are at home, and Minnesota's in a dome. So, like, you have Minnesota that plays in a dome, Tampa, New Orleans plays in a dome. They're in LA, so really the only game they would have to worry about, really, you know, they don't have to go to Denver. Like, I'm looking at this, like, you know, they don't have to go to even Atlanta. Like, I'm sitting here looking at this going, wow, man, like, they really don't have a you know, if their schedule comes out the right way, like, they can knock out all these outdoor, like, inclement weather stadiums early on in the season, and then they're good to go.
Yeah, I got them going 12-5. I can't disagree with that. The only thing I can say is versus, you know, the schedule that we see, it hasn't come out back-to-back games where they're playing. You know, you're looking at maybe a physical team versus coming home person, you know, playing like a Kansas City team that can run you out of the building, a spread team that's going to make you run and gun. That's the only thing I can see. Playing a physical team versus a different kind of team or the same back-to-back team. But I like 12-5. I really do. I think 12-5 is a great a record for them. Real quick, let's read some of the comments real quick. We won't get into them, but Dan says Mayer would be a great pick for him as well, where you talk about trust in golf. There's Mike Fuji checking in. 29 days to the draft. Damn
Can't
right.
wait.
Mike, we'll get you on the show here sometime, brother. We are going to have a live. We're going to have a live draft show. More than welcome to it. Tons of fun. It's insane when we do a draft show together, man.
It was. I was going to say it was a blast last year, man. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
As long as
it
we
was
don't
just
get, as long as
it
we
was
don't
us
get
three,
breaking
right?
news.
It was
It was
us three and I
and
think
Joey, right?
was on
Joey
too.
was like in and out. Yeah.
Yeah, Ken hopped on for it, but we had a lot of people on here that just kept coming in and out. But as long as we don't get breaking news where the Eagles trade for some, oh God, please don't happen again.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was about to say, Mike.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons, baby. That'd be great.
Jeffrey
Yeah,
Simmons for number 30. I'm telling you, it's
that's the
happening.
time this year we're definitely going to lose connection during a live show this time. I'm telling you that happens. But
Dude,
last comment real quick. Go ahead. Rob Hepner checking in. Rob Hepner says, Joe Sullivan, you have an extensive jersey collection. We all know that. Rob, first,
I do.
I
It's
hope you feel
crazy.
better,
Yes, he
brother.
does.
Rob, first I want you to get better, brother. The door's here for you all the time. You know that. So whenever you're ready to come back, we wish you well and all your prayers out there and your endeavors. So
Yeah, get well soon, buddy. Get well soon, buddy.
Yeah.
And but listen, all I'm gonna say is this: and just talking on the Jeffrey Simmons point for a second, if that deal gets done first, dude, Bijan Robinson's getting picked at 10. I'm just telling you that now. They're gonna pick Bijan Robinson at 10 because I really don't see the kid from Oregon, Gonzalez. I don't see him or Witherspoon.
He's overrated.
I don't see him or Witherspoon making it to us.
He's going to Detroit.
Yeah, that's a rumor. Yeah, that was with the 6th pick. That's what a lot of mocks got him going, and they got Witherspoon going like 8th. So, to me, I feel like if they're able
they got
to
him going to Washington.
Yeah.
No, they got him going 8th. They got the kid going 8th. Is that when Washington picks 8th?
No, Atlanta picks 8th.
Yeah, they got him going 8th. They got Witherspoon going 8th. So, to me, that leaves it open for 2 guys for the Eagles. If they get Jeffrey Simmons, they're not going to go after Jalen Carter. So, if they don't have him, then I could see them getting Jalen Carter and then, maybe still trying to get in there because Howie and his defensive lineman.
Yeah, I'm saying. I'll tell you. I think Howie. I know. In my opinion, for the Eagles, interior defensive line is more of a need. But I could see Howie, the kid from Georgia, Nolan Smith, is really moving up the charts.
Yes.
And
Ringo.
Right.
Ringo.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people, the Eagles have done a lot of work in Georgia, and also Nolan Smith. What his comparison is? It's Hassan Reddick.
Oh.
So he makes a lot of sense. And Sean and I had Brendan Deeg on from The Score, and he does a lot of draft work. So I saw him on Twitter today. He was breaking down Nolan Smith, and he showed a highlight, man. It was like you should have seen what he did. I mean, he set this tackle up. He looked exactly like Hassan Reddick, and I commented, I'm like, boy, this kid. I said, this kid's great. He looks exactly like a future Eagle. You know what I mean? Like he looks just like Hassan Reddick.
If you're mentioned in the same category as Hassan Reddick, that tells you something right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one last thing about Detroit we have to keep in perspective too. You know how they traded Hawkinson? Detroit actually has 2 first and 2 second round picks.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about the 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So theoretically, I mean, like Mike. I mean, you can control. You have a lot of control in this draft if you really.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That Thursday night's going to have all Detroit lined up on it the first night. Then you go to Friday for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I mean, that Friday night, they're going to control both rounds. They really are.
Woo. All right, Joey. I guess it's your turn now because I'm done.
Well, guys, before we do that real quick, I just want to mention one person out there. Let's just go real quick. Our new sponsor out there, Monkey Cold Coffee. Make sure you use promo code OOTBS Sports at the register at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Man, I'm telling you, bourbon infused chocolate coffee.
Yeah, I got to try that.
It's one of a kind, Mike. Listen, I'm not just a sponsor. I'm a firm believer of it. I had it every morning since I've got it. My God, you guys don't need a coffee. That's why I'm never going to sleep again, Mike. It's so damn good. It's the best coffee I've ever had. So make sure you use OOTBS Sports at the register, monkeycoldcoffee.com. But now let's get into the Bears. The Bears.
One more thing. I just thought of something. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to move off the Lions, right? But one last thing. So the Eagles picking at 30, right? And you know how we said that like Hooker's moving up boards? So what if the Lions picked 2 players at 6 and 18? Say they took like Mayer and they took a defensive player. Well, with the Lions with 2 first-round picks, maybe they called Howie Roseman and offer a 2 and a 3. So Howie Roseman moved Detroit's pick and picks like a moves down and picks a second rounder and gets an extra third round pick or something.
I would do it.
And they take Hooker.
I could see them.
It could. All right, but anyway, let's move on to the Bears. So, speaking of the draft, well, we're saying Detroit Lions control the draft. Well, I'll tell you another team that kind of controls the draft a little bit is the Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears had the first pick. They traded it to Carolina. They got a haul. They got DJ Moore. They got the 9th pick. They got what was it? I forget if it was the 50. I think it was the 61st pick. I forget exactly which pick they got, but the bottom line is the Bears have the 9th, 53rd, 61st, 64th, 103rd, 133rd, 136th picks. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the first 136 picks the Chicago Bears have. Jeez. Right? That's a lot of picks. So that you talk about controlling a draft, that's the Bears. The Bears went out. They spent some serious little, they signed some good players in free agency. I kind of question their money allocation. I mean, I like Tremaine Edwards as a player, but you don't usually see teams overpay for linebackers in free agency. They signed Tremaine Edwards. They signed TJ Edwards from the Eagles. And then they lost, what's his face? They lost David Montgomery to my man's Lions team, but they went out and signed Deontay Foreman, who I actually think was I like that kid. I think that was a good pick. The one thing about the Bears that surprises me a little bit is they really didn't do anything to the offensive line. So like in looking at the draft here, I think the 9th pick is prime spot for one of the first offensive linemen to go off the board, whether it's the kid from Ohio State or, a perfect Chicago. Well, or a kid, a perfect Chicago pick would probably be the local kid from Northwestern.
Peter something, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a Chicago Bear to me. But we were saying he looked like a Patriot.
Yeah, he can bear that weather. He's ready to bear that weather now. So why not come on down to Windy City?
Yeah, and
exactly.
Looking at the Bears' schedule here, they got home. They have Atlanta, Carolina, Denver, Vegas, and Arizona, plus their division games. Well, I'll tell you what, every single one of those games is winnable for the Bears.
Yeah.
Okay, and especially. Imagine you get Arizona coming there in a late November, early December game. Kyler Murray wants no part of that weather. You know what I'm saying?
He'll pull a hammy playing Call of Duty.
Right.
Yeah, he'll have that. What's that called? A carpal tunnel.
Yeah,
some shit like that,
So now we have on the road. We have at Kansas City, just like the Lions were. At the Chargers, just like the Lions. At the Saints. Wait, isn't it funny? It's almost like the Bears have the same schedule as the Lions.
They do. If you go back and read it, they do.
Yeah.
Same exact one.
I think the only difference is Dallas, right?
Just like the Vikings.
Dallas and Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you guys are right, because the Bears play at Washington and at Cleveland, and the Lions play out Dallas, out Baltimore. So it's pretty much the same schedule.
All right, so I'm wondering what team do we end up playing then from there? We got Minnesota again?
Vikings.
Who, the Eagles?
Yeah, they got Minnesota.
You got the Vikings. You got the Vikings.
Okay.
Because our conference was you guys were 1. Yeah, you guys were 1. We were 2. That's Eagles Cowboys. We ended up getting the Lions, and you guys 1 and 1 got the Vikings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, you know what's funny, Paul? Ironically, I feel like we got the bet. We finished first. I think we got the better end of the stick. I'd rather play the Vikings.
That's what I said in the group chat. I think the Vikings have surpassed the Lions have surpassed the Vikings. Even the Bears done it. So we got fucked on this schedule right here. As looking ahead, we really did. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So based on this though, like, what are you guys thinking of the Bear? I mean, well, first off, my man. All right. Look at what the Bears did. They got you. Next year, you're going to have a full year of Chase Claypool, and you have DJ Moore. They have a good tight end. I like that kid Cole Kmet. I think he's pretty good. And then you have you got Darnell Mooney. And don't you guys think the Bears will probably draft a receiver And they're probably going to add weapons to this team.
You have the picks to do it. You have the picks to do it. You're going to get one somewhere in this draft. Either you have 7 picks in the first 2 days, basically. In the first half, really. So you have to get a wide receiver out there, and they're going to fall somewhere to get one.
I tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. If it's all going to come down to Justin Fields, because if Justin Fields can take that step. And I'm not saying, I've never seen a quarterback make the step that Jalen Hurts did. So that's kind of hard to do.
Right.
But if he could take a step forward, this Bears team could all of a sudden go from being the worst in the league to being a playoff team very quickly.
But let me ask you this real quick. Okay, with Jalen Hurts, that's a different breed. That's a different animal. We all know him from college, what he had in college, to the pros where he's at today. From first year to second year Super Bowl. But let me ask you this real quick. With regards to the Bears, do you surround him with the weapons like what the Eagles did? Devontae Smith, okay, Goddard, good running back committee, let's put it that way. And then you go out and get an A.J. Brown. Do you do that with the Bears and you say, hey, look, Justin, I know our offensive line, you're probably going to run for your life. We know that, okay? But do we get you the weapons first because we know you can get out of the pocket and that's your game? Where do you go, Joe? What do you do? Solidify the O-line or give them weapons to – what do you do? I don't know. What do you do?
So I think that I think with the 9th pick, I think they go O-line, okay? But they have 53 and 61. What if and 64? So what if at the back end of that first half, a guy like all right, I got a scenario for you. What about the kid from Alabama, the running back Gibbs?
Oh no, don't. Let's just stop right now. He's going to Dallas, so he's off the board, Joe. Okay.
All right. Just if he doesn't go to Dallas, couldn't you see him making a lot of sense? And you have him in a rotation with Deontay Foreman.
I love that move. You guys know me. I love Gibbs. I think Gibbs is probably going to be. I know I'm probably going to get slack for this. I think he's better than Robinson. The way he fits, I love his game. Stand up runner out of the backfield as well. I love that. The Bears go out and get him. My God, him, because he can run an RPO too. He did it with the other guy when. What's his name? Bryce Young was out. I forgot the quarterback's name in Alabama. That big guy, Sean, you might know his name. Melton, I think it's Melton or something like that. He ran the RPO with Melton, I believe, and he looked good at Alabama.
Yeah.
So as athletic as Justin Fields is, how do you stop that? You know what I'm saying? How do you stop that? That's a really hard thing to stop, Or I guess the other way to look at it too. The Bears do need a lot of help. The Bears have a pretty good secondary, but they really could use help up front in the D-line. So maybe the Bears just really stock D-line, pass rush. They could use a lot of pass rush. That's another way they could go. But like for instance, at 9, I'm saying O-line, but they really could go the kid from Iowa, Lucas Van Ness. I could see him going to the Bears.
I was just about to bring him up. Yeah. Van Ness and the other kid, mate, was it from A&M?
Oh yeah, Tyree Smith, I think.
Yeah.
I could see them doing something like that.
Texas Tech, Tyree Smith. Yeah,
that's it. Okay.
He's vicious.
Yeah,
he's vicious.
He can't go on the pro days. There's something wrong with his foot. The Bears were supposed to have a pro day or one-on-one session, and he canceled that because he got a procedure on his foot, and they couldn't sweat or run, so. He had to cancel it.
Now, Joe, let me ask you this. I know I'm sorry. Joe, I want to ask you this. I like to stir up the pot here as I usually do. But
sure.
being that the Bears have all these, back end picks. Not want to say back end. We're talking like 40 to 70 here. Is there any way the Bears put 2 of these together and maybe move back into the first round? And if they did, why would they do that?
Maybe just a guy that slips. All right. What if
who would you go for? What would it take for you to go there?
For the Bears, okay, I'll give you one. So say they go Lucas Van Ness at 8 okay, or 9. I'm sorry, 9. And say one of the top 2 or 3 offensive tackles start slide into the 20s. I don't know, maybe 23, like 24, 25. And then I call up a team that maybe that's sitting there, maybe has 2 first-round picks or whatever, and maybe I offer 53 and 61 plus a pick to move up to, say to 24, 22.
Mhm.
I grab an O tackle like the kid maybe from Georgia even, right? And their kid from Georgia that's out there. So then if you're the Bears, you're getting a guy, you're getting it. So then if you're the Bears, you're getting Lucas Van Ness for the pass rush, and then you're getting, an O lineman that maybe you had graded a lot higher. Maybe you have him graded in like the top 13, 14 guys, and he's sitting there at 24, 25. And you said, you know what? Yeah, we'll give up this ammo to solidify our line.
Okay. All right, the reason why I asked you that is because I was looking on a mock draft today. I was on Twitter and I was looking at this guy. He's a beat reporter for the Bears, and he says, he likes the guy from Northwestern, Peter Skronsky. He likes that pick number 1 for them. He said if a name by the Jordan Addison drops by 25, maybe they take a flyer and package 2 of their third round picks possibly to move back into that first round. You think that's a possibility for an Addison from USC?
I mean, if they like him, I mean, you look at the Bears receive DJ Moore, nice player. Claypool, nice player. Mooney, nice player. None of them are really are any. I mean, none of them are AJ Brown. You know what I mean? So if you love that kid, then you go get him.
Okay.
Now I would go Quentin Johnson from TCU.
I think he's gone though. I think he's gone. I think he's gone early though, Sean.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
he has the size, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might, if he's there, man, take a flyer on that kid. I mean, you can't go wrong with the kid right there. Wheels, motor, high IQ. He can high point the ball as well. I love the kid. I really do.
You know what, Jodo? I can definitely see them doing going after Skronsky though from Northwestern. I could. That's like a Bears thing to do. Like they love their Midwest guys.
I know.
They do.
He fits that program.
He would. And you know what? It would kind of really help out that offensive line too. So I can see them. I can see them going there. But as far as
what if Justin Fields goes into the GM's office and says, "There's a guy by the name of Paris that I played with at Ohio State. Can we go get him? I mean, he saved my life millions of times. Why not, right?"
But you know what, Paul? They got capital to trade back in. They got capital to trade back in.
Big time. Big time.
That's what I'm saying. Like Paris is going to go a little after. Like Paris, you could use that capital to move up and go get both.
Yeah, they control it with draft picks and money. They control this draft. It's huge what the Bears have this year.
Can't you see the Bears? I could see the Bears and the Eagles having a marriage. The Eagles with number 30 moving down to the Eagles could move all the way down to 53, and maybe Bears go, we'll give you 53 and 103 or something.
No, Howie will get more than that. He'll get 2 future first round picks plus the farm, everything.
I don't know about two future first round picks, but he'll get at least 1. If you're trading 30, if it's not an impact player coming here to end the drop back, no. Howie's getting a first rounder. Like we're giving you a first rounder, you're giving us a first rounder.
Well, what if you got 53 and 64? So you're moving down 23 spots, but you're picking up an extra pick. Like you're picking up an extra pick.
Yeah, but you're not going to trade a first for a second and a third. Like you look at the going rate to get back into the first round. These guys are giving up at least a 1 plus a 2 or a 3, or a 1 and a 4.
I remember when we made the trade for Lamar, when Baltimore traded for Lamar Jackson, we moved down. I think we moved down about. Yeah, that's true because we only moved down 16 spots, but I think we moved down about 12 to 16 spots of Goddard, and then they gave us their second rounder the next year.
Yeah.
So,
like if they're going to do 2 2s, like one this year, one next year, I could see that. But if you're that 30 pick. Like anything, like you gotta remember too, like that was the very last pick in the first round, so everybody knew that was the last pick, and this one here, it's going to be kind of the same thing. It's going to be next to last, but because Minnesota doesn't have one. But for me, there's no way. Like you got to give me a number 1. You want my number 1 first round pick? Nah.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Now here's before we get to your
guy's intriguing too.
No, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Juwan Jones, the tackle from Ohio State. Intriguing. 6'8", 374.
Yeah,
He
I mean, I
blocked.
think there's a
He
lot of
went to
options.
Ohio
I think there's
State.
a
I
lot
could
of
see
options.
him.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of options. I think
Yeah.
the Bears have a lot of options.
And he
Um,
and the kid Jones from Ohio State, I think he's supposed to go late first round.
mhm, mhm. Now,
Yeah.
what about this? What do you think about a need for corner? Evan says Joey Porter if he falls. Do you take the best man available here? What do you do?
Joey Porter's going to the Steelers. As much as
That's
I
what he's
thought he would,
projecting.
Yeah.
A lot of people are up here on the radio saying that's who they want right now is
Yep.
Joey Porter Jr.
I thought he was coming to the Birds, but the way things are shaping out right now,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't see that happening. I see him
No.
going to the Steel City.
That's what everybody said up here. Yep. All right, so Joe, what do you got for a record wise? I mean, we got the Lions sitting at 12-5. Are you getting this division, or are we just going to go down to a tiebreaker here? What's going on with the Lions and the
Nah,
Bears?
you know what? You know, I as high as I am on the Bears, and as much as I think Justin Fields can improve, the Lions are a year ahead of them. The Lions took that step forward last year.
Mhm.
Even though I think the Bears kind of have a manageable schedule, they're young. They're going to find a way. They're going to find a way to piss away a couple games that they shouldn't. So I'm going to say the Bears. I'm going to say the Bears could go 10-7. I'm going to
Okay.
say 10-7 because they're so young. Many different guys. I feel like they're going to find a way to make the big turnover or make the mistake and find a way to piss away a couple games.
Okay, so you got 10-7. You got them right
Yep.
behind so far second place, 2 out of 2, but second place. Mike, what do you want to say about that record?
I got the Bears winning the division.
Oh, okay.
Bears are going to win the division. I think the Lions are always going to be the Lions. And that was the team I had to break down. So even with all that, the injury bug always seems to hit them. Sometimes they'll start great. Sometimes they won't. They'll finish great. I just think Chicago made more of the needs that they filled most of their needs. Where I'm still a little suspect on that Detroit defense. That's why I think they both can go 13-4. And you know what? Like I said, I just think it comes down to a tiebreaker, maybe like NFC. I think they can both go 5-1 in the division because I'm not sold on Green Bay or Minnesota. I think both of them are going to have bad years. So to me, it's just a two-horse race, and I like the Bears. I think the Bears got a better defense than the Lions.
Okay, all right.
So
what do you got? What do you got about that record? Mike has them winning division. Joe has them in second place. Where are you going to be at?
13-4.
Oh,
13-4.
Okay. Wow. Why?
I think they're going to make a splash in the draft and maybe a couple key draft trades, just with the offense being, like you said, Eagle-esque, but I think they'll do pretty well.
I agree. I'm going to say actually I think the Lions win the division. Bears are second. We'll talk about the other two here, but it all comes down to me of what the Bears do in the draft. There's a lot of cap that they can play with, a lot of draft picks that they can solidify, plug and play players of what they need. Yeah. But I trust Goff more than I trust Justin Fields right now. I really do. In a standpoint of a second year versus more of a season quarterback. Plus the Lions, man, they can score right now. They can score. That team is built to score right now. But I don't trust Justin Fields late half. We know he can make some bonehead mistakes. Leading back to that Cowboys game, I hate to say it, but when there was a fumble, you're taught to jump on a ball until the whistle blows. You don't let the ball run. That was a bonehead mistake, number one. And I think that from a sophomore quarterback is going to happen. So I got to put the Lions there. I'm going to put the Bears probably, depending on how the season flows by scheduling-wise, teams. I'm going to go, man, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go 10-7 as well. 10-7 right now. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's move on to this other team. Sean, I'll let you go first because I still think Aaron Rodgers hasn't got back to me yet. He's still in seclusion somewhere. So
he's in the hole.
Yeah, he's somewhere. I text him. He's like, he didn't answer me. So I don't know if he's in the darkness or whatever. But how about we go with these Minnesota Vikings and let's talk about the defending NFC North champions.
Well, you had them going 13-4 last year, and they did pretty well. But first and foremost, with the draft, I think they need to get address cornerback, wide receiver, and linebacker. Because they lost Patrick Peterson, they need youth. I could see them going to Brian Branch as
Ooh, I like
the
that. I
slot
like that.
cornerback.
I like that move.
Because they have the 24th pick, and I don't think they have a lot of picks. Let's see. They got the 24th, a third rounder, 87th, a fourth round pick from the Lions, 119, a fifth round pick, 158, and a compensatory pick in round 6, 211. So they don't really have much to work with. So, I mean, with as far as wide receiver, you gotta compliment Justin Jefferson. He can do it all. He can do it, but you need to compliment him.
I mean, what do you do losing Thielen? Yeah, you lose Thielen. So what do you do?
Do you go free agency? Do you like I have right here, BJ? Do you consider reaching out to him, seeing if he wants to come over, or do you just go to the draft and get a guy like Quentin Johnson, like I said, from TCU, I believe, or even Jordan Addison, the best available?
Hold on, you really think Minnesota's going to take another? You think Minnesota's going to take another TCU wide receiver? They already got Jalen Reagor.
Ha!
Jordan Addison went to Kansas State.
Jordan Addison's USC.
Yeah. So linebacker as well. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm saying Quentin Jefferson. Johnson.
Yeah.
Linebacker, Eric Kendrick, since he left via free agency, you got to address that need as well. I see them going with that 24th pick, probably a Drew Sanders or a Trenton Simpson. Best available.
I could see that.
As the schedule now, as far as Kansas City, I see that as a loss. Chargers loss. Saints loss. Buccaneers a win. The Bears lost. Lions loss. Green Bay a win. San Fran loss. And then Broncos definitely a loss.
Really? I mean, what?
Loss up.
That game's in Denver, right?
Carolina a win. Eagles a loss, and the Bears, I think they lose both games to them. Lions a loss. Green Bay gives me a loss, and Bengals definitely a loss. So they're down at the bottom of the pack, I think.
See that's where like when I was saying the Bears were that's where I was saying the Bears were going to find a way to piss away a couple games. Like I just, I'm high on the Bear, but I don't think the Bears are ready to sweep a team like Minnesota yet. Like I feel like Captain Kirk will find a way to beat them in a big spot. You know what I mean? Like they'll find a way. I think they find a way to beat the Bears like once.
And Joe, that's what I was saying when you were gone. You got a call. That's what I was saying. Like with Justin Fields, I'm more secure taking Goff, a seasoned veteran, compared to Justin Fields, because there is going to be those bonehead mistakes. Just like in the Dallas game where he fumbled that ball. You're taught at a young age. You play the ball. You get on the ball until the whistle's blown. My man just laid there, and that cost him 7 points in a game, basically, that loss there with the Cowboys. But that I like exactly what you said. I think they're going to make a couple bonehead mistakes. But, Sean, I mean, what's this team need to do to get back on top? I mean, you got two teams that are probably surpassed you already, What do you have to do? What do you do?
Draft to get a better running back. You're not so. Oh no, you got Dalvin Cook. I'm sorry,
Dalvin Cook.
I mean, if anything, address the defense. Address the defense first and foremost, like the linebackers and cornerbacks. To me, to get those back in the game. Kirk Cousins. I was reading a trade they could possibly pull for Will Levis. Like I said earlier, your thoughts on that? would you do it?
What do they have to give up for him? Because you're going to have to give up something huge for Will Levis, who's probably arguably the number 1 draft.
Okay.
24th pick. 24th pick.
I was
it before pick.
You were breaking up. I couldn't understand.
I couldn't hear you, Tom. I couldn't hear you.
I was gonna say I was reading that the Vikings really like.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead, try it again, Sean. What we were saying about the trade.
Give them the 24th pick if that's possible, and a second rounder, their second rounder,
Joe, would you do that, or Mike? Yeah, you're lagging in and out. Like we're getting like a time frame there. But let me ask you, Joe and Mike, with regards. I think I got what Sean said. Would you give up that 24th pick, and what team would give up a 24th pick and maybe your second rounder to get a quarterback like Levis? Let's say Levis drops to 6. Okay.
It's gonna take a hell of a lot more than that to move from 24 to 6.
Right, and your second round pick, I think you're going to need next year's first, or something better than that, because there's no way. Because Levis, the way he's moving up the draft board right now, you're going to need a hell of a lot in any of these quarterbacks right now. Really, think about it.
Yeah, I don't see the Vikings being able to make that move. I think their best bet would be if they like Hooker and maybe move up a little bit to get him. Like say move up from maybe 24 to like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like 18 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like something like that. But Levis, I think that'd be kind of hard. Like I said, the only way you're moving from 24 to 6 is you'd have to give up your first and second this year, and definitely your first next year, possibly even more than that.
Right. Agreed. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. There's no way. You'd have to give up, like Joe said, you'd have to give up a lot to move up there.
Yeah.
From 24 to 6, dude. Yeah, you're giving up the farm, dude. Like there's no way. But with that being said, too, like I just feel like Minnesota's got a lot of defense that they got to replace. Like, their defense wasn't that good to begin with. So, like, for me, like, you got a cornerback. They got to go after a corner. They got to go after a safety. They got to go after a linebacker. Like, who on that defensive line? Like, Zadarius Smith. They're talking that they cut him to go.
Well, they got Davenport.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, really, like, they got rid of one and picked up.
You got Byron Murphy and Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Byron
Murphy. That's nothing to brag about. Yeah,
I'm not sold on Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy was getting beat all last year in Arizona. So,
but there's a difference here. Like we're talking about, like, okay, we know the Lions have draft picks. We know the Bears have draft picks. They're moving up right now, even without talking about draft picks. And we're talking about the Vikings being up top with no draft picks, and they're on their way down. Like, this is a flip right here, the way it is. The top two teams, like it's always been, lately, the Packers, the Vikings. Now, it's a 50-50 split. The bottom is coming back up here, and that's the way I see it. I think the Vikings have too many holes to fill in this draft. And they're, I don't want to say rebuild, but it is kind of a rebuild situation with the Vikings here.
It is, and I'll tell you what, Kirk Cousins' guaranteed money's not helping them. It's not helping them right now. So this is why, too, if you're taking a look, this is why you're not seeing Lamar Jackson get his guaranteed money, because people are looking at that. And, Kirk Cousins started all this with his guaranteed contract, and now you're looking at Minnesota. Like, Minnesota can't make moves that they need to make because of this salary cap. So, like, it kind of handcuffs you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, like, Minnesota did this to themselves. They had a window of an opportunity to try to get to where they needed to get to. They were good for a few years, man. But then, all of a sudden, now that caught up to them. Like, they kicked it down the line, but, now they're paying the piper. So, like I said, to me, I think Minnesota is – I think, like, them and Green Bay are going to be fighting for a top 5 pick next year.
Yeah,
like they're going to be bad, man. They're going to be real bad.
Yeah. So, Sean, before we move on to the dumpster fires of my team and your team here, what is the record of this first place NFC North team, the Minnesota Vikings, this year?
They take a hit, 9-8.
That high?
I don't see them
Oh,
doing
okay.
good.
Wow. Okay. Mike, what do you got him at? Sean's got him 9-8.
Yeah, I got them like 6-11.
Mm-hmm.
6-11.
I don't see them being that bad. I see anywhere from 7 to 8 wins. So I'll be nice and say 8 to 9, just because, you know, I know Kirk Cousins gets shit on a lot, but he does have he if it's Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, he's going to suck. But a lot of these 1 o'clock games, I mean, look at their record in 1-score games last year. I mean, he finds a way to make big moments. So I think he steals a few games.
The reason I picked them to go what I did was just because they were a playoff team last year. So that means they're going to get a lot of primetime games, a lot of 4-15 games, a lot of Sunday night games. They're
that could be a problem.
They're going to be in prime time, and Kurt stinks in prime time. So
and the funny thing is, Mike, the funny thing is, I can already see it. Thursday night football, Minnesota Vikings playing the Philadelphia Eagles. It's 1-1. That's a primetime game. I can already see that happening.
Yeah,
not Thursday night, but I can see that being a Sunday night game or a Monday night game. Thursday night, come on, man. Thursday night is just the teams you don't want to see. It's one team you want to see.
Last year. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got him going 8 and 9. I mean, listen, you still have Justin Jefferson out there, man. He can win you a couple games, close games. Throw the ball up to him, go get the ball, high point the ball. Close games, just like Joe said. There was a lot of games last year that were close in. I'm going back to the Buffalo game. That game had me on my seat. That game like that, one play can just demonstrate a win or loss. So I got him going 8 and 9. But that's why I got him. But let's talk about this team. Oh my God, the dumpster fire of what we are right now. Eileen just gave me breaking news. Why I can't find Aaron Rodgers? He's walking to New York right now. He came out of seclusion, I guess. But let's I'll get into this team. I'm not going to say much about this team, but first I'm just going to leave it to you guys first. Aaron Rodgers. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room here. Aaron Rodgers. We heard the rumors. I'm going to the Jets. I already made my resume out there. What I want. I want this person. I want Lazard. I want this person. I want this person. Demands have been made. The demands have been met. Okay. Rodgers has made his demands. They've been met. What the hell is going on, and why the hell are we waiting so long? I'll leave it up to you guys.
He's getting high in the cave.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I guess that's why he's walking to New York. He's son of a bitches forgot he owns 18 cars. He's walking. He must be.
Bro, dude, he's on the Brooklyn Bridge right now, asking for directions how to get to Queens. Like, my man is gone. Like,
my man's on shrooms. Leave him alone.
Yeah, dude, he's in the cave looking at
that psychedelic trip, dude.
Yeah,
oh man,
he's gonna be he's down there looking at the vibrant colors, asking how can he paint the walls. Like this, my man is good. Listen,
I tell you,
dude, he got Robert Tonyan signed. He got friggin' Randall Cobb signed. Alan Lazard was going there anyway.
Right.
Like that happened before. But now that he's going there, like, dude, they are no longer the Jets. They are the New York Packers, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to talk about he's already gone. I think he is going to be definitely a Jet. We all know that. It's going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I'm going to leave it up to you guys because the Packers I need help with this team. I think everybody needs help cluing this team out.
Help's coming, dude.
Yes.
Help is on the way. You know why? Because the MILF Hunter is coming to Wisconsin. Zach Wilson, baby.
Come on, you're going from diva to MILF Hunter?
Yeah, he's going to be the MILF Hunter. He's coming. He's going to lay all them cows in the Midwest.
Oh, look out, boys. Lock your grandmothers up. Lock your grandmothers up there. I'm telling you right now.
He's going cow tipping, baby.
I don't know. There's a big difference in, I mean, all right, when, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get Charles Barkley in trouble for saying this. I was going to say the quality of MILFs in Green Bay, I think, are a little different than the quality of MILFs in New York.
Dude, listen, the quality goes. Listen, the quality goes away when you turn the lights off, and just make sure you bring a razor. You gotta get listen, Green Bay is where the men are men and the women are too. You ever see some of them hogs?
I've only been up there
go outside and cut some logs?
Oh my God, bro! No BS. They had a Sunday,
wrong. Come with me,
bro. They had a Sunday night game on. And our boy TJ, who checks into our show, He said over our room that we were in. He said, "Man, look at all these heifers." And I look up, and I swear to God, I don't know.
God.
I said, "I don't know how that." I just made.
Oh
I
my
just.
God,
I
Mike.
just
Thanks,
killed-
Mike. Fucking thanks, dude. Seriously.
I just killed him. But
Oh,
I
God.
told Mako, "You bastard!" But no, he was like, "Dude." He's like, "Look." He's like, "Look at these heifers." He said, "Washington got the hogs, Green Bay got the heifers." I was done. I was done. Yo, there were some big broads out there, dude. Like, now I know why them linemen are usually big.
Damn,
Hey, wait a minute,
we did have 5 Packer fans in here, and now them heifers are gone.
And wait,
No, they know it's true.
Let's make sure we preface that by saying that was your friend that said that, not us.
Exactly,
not us.
right.
It was
We
a friend of
welcome
mine.
you. We welcome you.
It was
Yes.
a friend of mine. Oh, listen, Packer fans will tell you the same. Oh, she looks good. Just shave her stash, But
Oh,
anyway,
God.
God.
All right, let's get back to the Packers here, okay? Let's get back to the on-field players here.
Oh,
All right, now let's just say
yeah.
nobody's coming in. The MILF Hunter is not coming here to.
yes,
save
he is.
the
I'm
team
telling you,
set.
watch. He's going to get traded there.
Well, the MILF Hunter
They're not
comes
going
there.
to do. Yeah, but Mike, though,
No.
they're not going to. Do you really? I mean,
No.
do you really think they're going to do that to Jordan? I think they're going to give the
No.
job
That's
to
a
Jordan
slap
Love.
in the face. They do that.
No, they're going to bring him in as a backup. You got to get
Okay, well, here,
I don't think that works.
I'm just going to tell you something, okay? He's going to turn into the next Carson Wentz. You demolish this kid if you do that, okay?
Yeah.
You sat behind. You went out there behind Aaron Rodgers' back in the draft to go get Jordan Love in the draft, okay? You did that. You sat behind Aaron Rodgers, who is the diva who controls the organization of the Packers, of the Jets, 2 franchises, and then you're going to bring in the MILF Hunter?
No. You got it all wrong. Jordan Love's going to start. They're going to get Zach Wilson in the trade for Aaron Rodgers to back up Jordan Love.
Yeah, but do you really? Yeah, but Zach Wilson was picked second in the draft. You think they're going to want to spend that much money on a backup quarterback?
Well, the funny thing is, if you do that, Zach Wilson's going to make more money than your starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They can't do that.
That's a quarterback controversy right there.
Oh man, this is going to be.
Imagine being Jordan Love and you're starting, and then you look and you got the MILF Hunter behind you making more money than you, and he's not doing
like
anything.
this.
Can you imagine him? He's going to be on the sideline holding his clipboard, looking at the grandma up there.
I like you, baby. I got butter.
Yeah.
I'm not starting today.
what
I'm fresh. I got a lot of energy. I'm not starting today.
Oh man.
But
you might be getting a thing from StreamYard after this one.
It's okay, man. Hey, that's the story of my life out there, brother.
But no, I'm serious. Like I just said that joking around about him going over there. But
if he does, he does. I mean, the option's there.
Would that not be a great storyline? Like, I don't think Jordan Love's got no pressure. Like, he really don't. He knows that's his team. If Zach Wilson were to go there, speaking of TJ, there he is right there.
That's great.
But yeah, man. Yeah, T, I was telling the story about how you were looking on, we were watching a Sunday night game together with the Packers, and you said how they look like, they said in D.C. they got the Hogs. D.C. got the Hogs, and Green Bay got the Heifers.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about, Green Bay, yes. They have a lot of needs, guys. Let's just talk about it real quick. Let's talk about Christian Watson. Okay, we know what he can be. He high-pointed the ball, his season last year, of course, against us right away. You have Dobbs at wide receiver. Really only 2 wide receivers they really have. They gave away half the team to the Jets, okay? Offensive line is semi-okay. Running back, Aaron Jones and Dillon, which is a good running back combo. What do we need on offense first besides the quarterback? Where do we go?
They need another offense. They need another offensive tackle because Bakhtiari didn't he leave to go to the Jets too?
I don't think he did. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I think he stayed. I think he actually stayed there because I was looking at it a couple days ago. And I think he stayed there. The line is staying good. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was Bakhtiari stayed, but he was kind of that dude's. Like they need to start looking for his replacement anyway because that dude's always getting hurt. Always.
Yeah, he's injury prone too. Yep.
Yeah, and I will never call an offensive lineman injury prone because when you got another 300-pound guy coming at you,
no,
you're trying to stop.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say he's injury prone, but I mean he's always ended up on the IR. And I'll tell you what, man. Like I think they need to go. I think they need to go there.
The Packers need to be able to stop the run first and foremost because they can't score. I agree with that, but you got to put some points on the board before you try to stop anybody first.
Now,
what
listen,
they have it's kind of scary.
Where are they picking at, the Packers?
I didn't even look at their draft. I was just so frustrated that I had the Packers this week because I think it was
I think they're like 16th.
I think yeah, 15,
Now,
16,
now
yeah.
them, I can see them moving up and trying to get somebody like a Jalen Carter, because you can put Jalen. I think Jalen Carter's going to dip. I mean, I would love to see the Eagles grab him at 10, but like I said,
they're actually 15th. They're 15th.
15th, yeah.
right. I could see them. I could see Green Bay trying to make a deal with the Eagles to move up to 10.
Okay.
But the way I'm looking at it like this, man, if you're going to build that up, they got the kid. What the hell was his name? Kenny Clark. They got him in the nose guard. So if you get somebody like a Jalen Carter to go with him at nose guard, now you got that pressure coming up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But Kenny Clark plays left end. He plays left end.
Well, do you address tight end?
Yeah, Slayton plays nose. Slayton plays nose.
Couldn't Green Bay use Ed? I mean, couldn't they use edge rush? And I think they could also use a safety too, like the kid Branch from Alabama could be a spot for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got really young safeties on there. You got Darnell Savage, which is okay. Then you got a unrestricted player as well, Tavarius Moore. You definitely need help in all categories on defense.
Adrian Amos is a free agent. He's still out there. I mean, he's still replace him.
Yeah, he's still out there. But I tell you what, I still think they got one of the best corners in the league, dude. I mean, I know he kind of like fell back a little bit last year, but Jair Alexander's a shutdown corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, they got something with him. They do have Russell Douglas. Yeah, Russell Douglas plays on that team, too. I think he's playing safety. I think he's a safety. So, over there. So,
I mean, addressing tight end? Like a Michael Mayer.
That's what I wanted to ask you, because if you look at tight end.
I think they do.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to Yeah, there's a comment up here real quick I want to get into now. Josiah DeGaria. I don't even know who this cat is, honestly. He's their starting tight end right now. And TJ brings up a great point. Michael Mayer, a Kincaid. What do you think?
I like it.
They fit the mold of the Packers exactly. Big.
Here's another bet about the Packers too. What's the best way to break in a young quarterback? Give him a tight end.
Yeah.
And not the kind that Zach Wilson goes after.
Oh man, yo, I got one for you, Paul. Where do you think, with Mercedes Lewis leaving? Like, I felt like he was I felt like that dude. One, he's played forever. Two, I felt like he was the offense's security blanket, not just Rodgers, because when Love had his little bit of chances in there too, he looked for him. So I think with him with him and Tunyon being gone right now, I can definitely see them going tight end. But like I said, their defense, man, they got to get more pressure. They got to get more pressure coming up there, Joey. Oh man, our partners dropped off here.
All right, so our Green Bay representative dropped out. Okay, all right, so let's see. So Green Bay could go tight end. They could go. I mean, you think about it. They could go a lot. They could go edge rusher. They could go D tackle. They could go wide receiver. I mean, they got a lot of needs. Let's face it. The Packers got a lot of needs here.
Yeah, that's why I got them pulling up the basement in there. Like, I think Minnesota's going to get 6 wins. I'll be surprised if Green Bay gets 5, especially with their scheduling, because they got to go to, if I remember right, like they got to go to Denver, and like they'll get Kansas City. They'll get Kansas City. You know what I mean? But it's crazy.
Paul lost power, so he said to keep going. So,
all right. Well, we're gonna have to keep. Well, we're not gonna be able to get in anyway. I mean, he said keep going. It's great, but we got to stop it eventually.
Keep going.
So, man.
All right. So let's look at their opponents and then figure out how many wins this team's going to have. So let's see. Green Bay Packers, Green Bay opponents 2023. So let's see what they got. All right. So at home, obviously Bears, Lions, Vikings, we all know that. Chiefs, Chargers, Rams, Saints, Buccaneers. Tell you what. Wow, I'll tell you what. Okay. All right, I'm going to tell you I think they split with the Vikings, so I think that's one home win right there. I think the Lions beat them twice. So the Lions beat them twice. I think they find a way to beat the Bears in Green Bay. So that's 2 wins. Kick their ass. Chargers probably. It depends on when they play the Chargers. The Chargers are such a wimpy ass team. If they play them in the cold, they'll beat the Chargers too.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's say that's 3. The Rams are, who knows about the Rams? That could be 4 wins. Saints and Bucks. I could see the Packers winning 5 or 6 of these games at home. So that's about 5-6 wins. Now let's see their road. Let's see road schedule here. Let me see the road here. All right, they're at Atlanta. We'll give them a loss. They're at Atlanta, at Carolina. I think they split that. At Denver, I think they lose that. At Vegas, I'll give them a loss there.
Mm-hmm.
At the Giants, a loss. At Pittsburgh, a loss. So you know what? I'm looking at their schedule. I say the Packers win anywhere from 6 to 8 games. So I'll go in the middle. I'll say they win 6. I say they win 7 games. Packers go 7-10.
7
right
10.
there with
I could.
7.
No, I don't know, man.
All right, Jim, I apologize that our power just went out here. We're getting a huge snowstorm tonight, so I apologize for that. Huge power outage real quick.
Wow. Man, you guys are getting a snowstorm out there?
Yeah, we already got like 1 or 2 inches already, and I'm just looking at it. It says up to 6 inches tonight with severe ice. So all the power, my neighbor just called me, his power went out as well. So yeah, just popped back on for a second. But my apologies. Keep it going.
Oh, righty, man. Don't worry about it. So, I guess really, I mean, we've all gave our predictions with this. So
what do you think? What do you think the Packers record, Paul?
Honestly, I think the Packers are. I apologize for my camera's not on; it hasn't reloaded yet. But I honestly think they're going to be a 7-10 team here. I mean, I'm not going to count them out. I like LaFleur as a coach as well. I think he's going to be out there. I think they're going to be the least of the division as 100%. But I got them. I'm going to say now. You know what? I'm going to go 6-11 this year. I think there's too many holes to fix. We don't know what Jordan Love's about. No weapons to throw to, and I think they're going to rely on the running game heavy this year between the 2 running backs that they have. So I'm going to go 6-11 this year. I really am. Unless
I'm thinking the same thing, Paul. Like I said, like 5-12, 6-11. I don't see the Packers winning a lot of games.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't. I think they're going to lose to Chicago twice.
Okay.
I really do. Like they don't have their defense is horrible. TJ saying,
"Hey TJ, thank you, brother."
That's great.
Actually, I do have one. Like since I moved up here, I did actually buy one. I never thought I would have the need for one, but I really haven't used it up here. They're pretty good. They're when we have Penelec up here, they come out and they do it right away. But I think it's just the Lions because I'm up like all the way on top of the mountain. So when something hits, it's like I'm getting hit for sure.
Yeah, Paul, you need to move to Alaska, dude. You'd love the freaking snow.
No, I need to move to Vegas. I am moving to Vegas. That's where I told him, if I'm moving somewhere, I'm going to move to Vegas. That's where I'm going to move.
Yeah.
Yes.
Road trip.
Hey, what better way? We already got a road trip coming up, and I think the end of July, right, John?
Yes, sir.
That's right. Yeah, I look forward to that. Yeah, nothing's stopping us. We're definitely doing that.
Dude, if you're sick, I swear to God, we're bringing out. I will bring Vicks 44D out to your house.
Dude, you know how bad I felt last year? Like I was like, you guys know I'm up all the time, and I never get sick ever. And then I was like, you guys know me. I don't sleep. I laid on that couch for like 24 hours straight. I was like, oh, there's no way I can have this shit. My boys are coming up this week, and there's no way I could have this. She goes outside, and she got those little testers, and I'm like, let me try this thing. Put it in there, waited. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. All the weeks, it was that week.
Yo, TJ got the best name for that, dude. He calls it the Wuhan virus.
The who?
Yeah,
the Wuhan virus. Dude, I died, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, TJ says Vegas is my home away from home. I've driven there 2 times in the last 18 months. Yeah, I go out there probably like twice a year, and it's never know when I'm going to do it. It could just be a weekend trip. $89 each way to get out there. I don't pay for a room because I get comped, and I really don't need a room. The hell with that. Yeah. Sports book, casino, and the crap table. That's all I need.
Hey, Paul, you've seen TJ on the Vegas Strip. He's the sexy Santa. He's the one that's got he's got the rubber chicken on his bike, and he wears tassels with his nuts hanging out.
TJ, listen. First of all, TJ, I'm very sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to put the money in your strap there. I didn't mean that. I didn't know that was you. You know, I was a little lit up myself, so I apologize for that, brother.
Oh.
Okay, my cousin's a poker dealer in the Orleans. I usually go to the Hard Rock, honestly. That's where I go, or New York, because I get comped out the ass there. I don't pay for shit, so that's where I
see, look,
go.
right away, Paul's got to go the Hard Rock. Dude, you know, they just moved back onto the Strip. You know that, right?
Yeah, they're actually doing that. They're actually was in the process of getting a new management system, a new buyout system as well. But that's our next trip, guys. We got to get out to Vegas. We got to get out to Vegas for a Vegas sports team trip.
I like Fremont Street, man. I love Fremont Street.
That has changed so much since the times like that overview that they have now. The jet line. I recommend that. If you guys ever do that, that's something. If you haven't, you got to do it.
Been there, did that.
It's awesome.
I'm gonna be real honest. I think I may have leaked on a couple people's head when I did the Superman version. I was up high, and I may have tinkled a little. I'm not gonna lie. So if somebody was there a couple Julys back and they felt something wet on their head, I apologize because I did. My wife's looking at me. She goes, "You all right?" I was like, "No." I said, "I think some poor bastard just got tinkled on."
Oh my god, that is insane,
dude! But it's scary though. You going that fast on your like the Superman, like the other one when I was up real high was cool. Like when you the Superman one's lower than just the regular skyline or the zip line. When you do the regular zip line, you're up higher and you're just sitting back chilling, just looking around like, oh, okay. But when you're laying on your stomach, bro,
Yeah, I don't like heights, so I would probably be doing more than tinkling. It'd probably be all kinds of stuff going on.
Joe, you got to do the big Ferris wheel there. They have that outside the link. You got to do it. Me and the wife did they have one. It takes a half hour to go around. I think it's like $20 or whatever. It's all you can drink. If you walk into the pod, the one pod they call it the party pod. It's all you can drink in a half hour.
Oh, wow.
Bro, you come off of that thing staggering. And it gives you some of the greatest shots. And it doesn't, you don't feel like you're on a Ferris wheel. I mean, I'm a little iffy on heights too.
Yeah,
I was like, but we got up there. I was like, yo, this is cool as shit. And bartender's like, oh, you're almost empty. Here, fill up. I was like, I got off of that thing. I looked at my wife. I'm like, let's hit In-N-Out now. Because In-N-Out's right there.
Oh, dude. You know what? I got it. All right. I love In-N-Out Burger. To me, like every time I had everybody at work cracking up because we went to Vegas and I was like, I gotta go to In-N-Out Burger. And my buddy Mark was like, dude, only you go to Vegas. You're only concerned about getting a fast food burger. I'm like, I want one of them Johns. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
I thought they were the nuts, bro.
Here's the thing, though. We live on the East Coast, so we don't have an In-N-Out Burger. So I've heard about In-N-Out for years. Like when I went out there, the last time I was out there, we didn't go to In-N-Out, but I'll tell you, they have a taco place out there called Del Taco, which is kind of like the West Coast version.
Okay.
You got it. And you go out to Del Taco and you go out there, next thing you know, boom. It's right there. Paul, I can try, but I'm not in the yard, brother. I can't get into the yard. I'll read them off.
I was gonna say no. Oh, okay. Paul said yeah. Okay, good.
All right. Well, guys, look, listen. We're going to be back in about a minute or so to close this up. Give us about a minute. Hopefully, Paul can. All right, everybody. Well, listen, this has been College Football Frenzy. Next week, we were definitely going to be back on here. We're going to say sorry to our little buddy, our buddy Snow Bunny, Paul. He's, he lost his power. So, Joey, where can they?
I was going to say, so who are we planning on doing next week? Let's think about this. We've done the AFC East, we've done the AFC North, we've done now the NFC North. What do you think? Maybe NFC West?
Yeah, let's do the NFC West.
All right, yeah, or we could put it on Twitter and let people vote on it. That's what we could do. Right now, we'll say NFC West, but if somebody has a different idea, then
other than the NFC East, we're doing that the very last week. So,
yep.
But guys, listen, Joey, where can they find you?
So you could see me and Sean Kilrain right there on the Sully Squad on Monday nights on EOP, and myself and Euro Paul just started a brand new show last night called Extra Innings. It's all about baseball, and last night we did an overview of the league, and it's really excited to do that. I'm a football fan first and foremost, but I'm a pretty huge baseball fan, and I think it's a really good addition to this network. So I'm pretty excited about it.
All right, Killer, where can they find you, Sean Killer Kilrain?
You can find me with Sully on Mondays 6 to 7, Sully Squad, and Thursdays on Broad Street South 8 to 9, and on my Instagram, Killer Kilrain. And that's about it, man.
All right, guys. Well, of course, I'm Big Mike. You can catch me right here tomorrow night. I got the Big Four Locker Room Podcast. We'll be going over the Sixers. Phillies kick off their season tomorrow, and we're going to be talking a lot of Flyers. The kids are playing well. Who would have thought? But and we're also going to dig into the draft, see what's going on with this Jeffrey Simmons news. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Paul will be back tomorrow with him and Joey Woods, 2-1 Fight Club. Trayshawn Wiggins will be their guest. Make sure you tune in right after my show, 10 o'clock tomorrow. So, guys, again, make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 8 o'clock live. I will see you guys then. Have a good night.